Hello and welcome to Know Your Representative, the program that bridges the visible gap between lawmakers and their constituents. I am Maria Olashende. Today on the show, I have the leader of the 10th Senate at the National Assembly and the ranking lawmaker representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District, Senator Michael Okpeyemi Bamidele. We'll take a short break and I'll be back soon. Stay with us.
ẹ̀yin ènìyàn rere Èkìtì Central Senatorial District bẹ̀ẹ̀ láti Adó Èkìtì Ìrẹ́pọ̀dún Ìfẹ́lódùn Ìjẹ̀rò Ẹ̀fọ̀n àti Èkìtì West lójúnà àti láǹfààní ní sísúnmọ́ra ẹni pẹ́kípẹ́kí sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ Michael Ọ̀pẹ́yẹmí Bámidélé MOB kíkálukú lè rọ́nà láti bá sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa tó jẹ́ okun kòótọ́ àti aṣojú tí yóò jẹ́ kérò gba yín ọ̀hún ohun tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ káàkiri constituency yín ó dọ́dọ̀ sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ lásìkò tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ kó lè di ṣíṣe lẹ́yẹ ọ̀sọ́kà ẹ lè kàn sí Honourable Tóyè Àgbájé níjẹ̀rò local government lórí nọ́mbà yìí 080-31-85-96-36 Èkìtì West Máyọ̀wá Òjó 070-38-20-54-84 Tèmítáyọ̀ Adétọ́nà Ìrẹ́pọ̀dún Ìfẹ́lódùn 081-32-62-02-27 Adó local government Honourable Gbénga Bánjí 081-35-49-77-74 ìrọ̀rùn eku ni ìrọ̀rùn ẹyẹ ní Yorùbá ń wí ẹ̀yin alátìlẹ́yìn wa ló jẹ́ ká máa dùn ìrọ̀rùn yín la lọ ṣojú ó ti di dandan kó tẹ̀yìn lọ́wọ́ ìjẹ́ sẹ́nitọ̀ Michael Ọ̀pẹ́yẹmí Bámidélé MOB lóní èrò sinidé gbọ̀ngàn dẹ̀yìn ẹni sinidé kiri ńlomi yẹni.
Welcome back. And if you're just joining us, the program is still Know Your Representative with Maria. And today on the show, I have the leader of the 10th Senate and the ranking lawmaker representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District. Leader, you're welcome to Know Your Representative.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here again.
Meeting you for the first time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so how does it feel being the leader of the Senate? I can remember the last interview you granted, you said, as a first-timer, you sit at the back. And there's a saying that says, when you sit at the back, you see the full view. You can see everything that is happening. But now you're sitting in front. So how do you do it? You have to turn back to see the full view, or you have everything within your hands?
Primarily, I have to imagine what could be going on at the back, given the fact that I also started from the back. And I know how it works. And I guess that's part of the essence of ranking. Beyond imagining what could be going on at the back, I also work with echoes coming from people who are seated behind us. And most importantly, I also know that to the glory of God, a lot of the things that we have to deal with on the floor are things that we all have a common position on. One, overriding public interest, ensuring that beyond whichever political parties brought us to the Senate, we know that such political parties are only vehicles through which we got in here. But once we got in here, we became senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and we are bound, by our constitution, and then, of course, overriding public interest, meaning well for the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So all of this make me sit down comfortably, knowing that those who are behind us have our back, because all we need to do is do the right thing, insist on overriding public interest, respect the provisions of our rules, which guide the proceedings in the Senate, and of course abide by the provisions of the Constitution.
Okay, so what are the functions of the Senate leader? Are you learning on the job, or you have experience?
Well, there are some jobs you don't learn on. You're a Senate leader, you're a Senate leader. You can't be a good Senate leader because you were a Senate leader before, so it's not the kind of job you are expected to be learning on. It's a kind of job that you do based on, one, the grace of God primarily, the confidence reposed in you by your colleagues who agreed for you to be their leader, and then, of course, as much as possible, the experience that you also would have garnered over the years. Our rules specifically insist that to hold certain positions in the Senate, you must be a ranking senator, and this is one of such positions. And the essence of such a provision in our rules is to ensure that you have some experience that we guide you in what you do. And part of the reason why the job is not so difficult or tedious, it's tedious, but not difficult, and I will explain that at a later stage of the interview. One of the reasons it's not so difficult is because I don't work alone. We have a leadership of the Senate that is comprised of actually 10 people, and the two presiding officers, President and Deputy President of the Senate, and then of course 4 principal officers on the side of the majority party and 4 on the side of the minority party. So the 10 of us constitute the leadership, and to a very large extent we discuss the issues, we formulate the agenda together, we decide on what will go on the other paper, what is urgent, and the sequence, of our discussions and all that. So I am well guided, by the collective reasoning, the collective position, of the entire leadership of the Senate. And then, of course, sometimes we also even hold joint leadership meetings with our colleagues who are principal officers in the House of Representatives, because we are basically a bicameral legislature, and nothing goes, finally, in one chamber that can become law without it also having been concurred with in the other chamber. So because of that, it's important that from time to time we also hold these joint leadership meetings. So if we have all of this in place, it makes it easy or not too difficult for whoever is the leader of business, either in the House or in the Senate, to be on the same page, with other principal officers, and by extension with the rest of our colleagues. And one of the things I've made a common practice is to always call for a closed-door session, or an executive session, as we call it, in situations where I feel that there is a huge gap, in the understanding of the principal officers on the one hand, and the remaining 99 senators, distinguished senators on the other hand, either because they have not been properly briefed on what we are trying to achieve, or I feel there's a need for further briefing. I always make it a point of duty to call for a closed-door session, and to a very large extent, that has also helped us, in the resolution of issues based on proper understanding of what we're trying to achieve.
And you think you're getting the needed support?
Oh yeah, definitely.
From your colleagues?
It's a kind of job that you cannot do successfully for one day without the needed support. I try to be as bipartisan as possible. I mean, you have sat in my office for a while, even before we started this interview, and you would have seen the inflow of distinguished senators into this office, and you saw the bipartisan nature of the visit, and same for the issues that they are bringing, and the attention that I'm giving to everybody. So as much as possible, like I said, we carry on as senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, regardless of which political party, provided the platform for you to get elected into the Senate.
Okay, so now let's go to Ekiti Central Senatorial District. Your constituents voted you into power. So, as leader of the Senate, what should your constituents expect from you? Have you started anything?
Well, thank you so much. Definitely my constituents in Ekiti Central Senatorial District, and by extension, the whole of Ekiti State, should expect, some added value, and me being able to do much more than I did before, because they believe that I'm at a vantage position to be able to earn for them greater dividends of democracy. So I have to do the delicate balancing between doing the job of Nigeria as the leader of the Senate
Senate
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that cuts across the entire 109 senatorial districts, and on the other hand, ensuring that the mandate, of the people of Ekiti Central that was freely given to me does not suffer. So I try to do the delicate balancing. But
don't you think theirs come first? They are the priority.
Well, I'll put it this way. Nigeria comes first for all of us, not only me, even the 109 of us. And that's why we are called by the name of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Every one of us is Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, elected to represent, the people of our own specific senatorial districts. But we are senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But you couldn't have been one if you were not elected by your people. So our primary responsibility is to Nigeria, and that was the oath that we took, and that's why when you see the things that we do, whether we're passing the budget or we're trying to pass a bill or we're debating a motion, you don't put your senatorial district first. You put Nigeria first, and we believe that whatever concerns one senatorial district concerns the whole of Nigeria, and there are specific issues to be discussed that pertain to a senatorial district. We discuss it or discuss such issues within the general context, of Nigeria.
So aside the usual projects that we know about, the borehole, the water, the schools, what are the major projects that the leader of the Senate will bring into Ekiti Central Senatorial District? That's what I'm particular about.
Well, I'll put it this way again. It's about Nigeria primarily,
You said so.
And secondarily, it's also about the people who elected me to be here. There's no doubt in the fact that I will continue to do what I did before, but do them on a larger scale. In terms of empowerment to our people, I have no doubt that I have to do it on a larger scale. In terms of attracting constituency projects to the people of my own senatorial district, I hope to be able to do it on a larger scale. But mind you, this cannot be at the expense of any other senatorial district in Nigeria or at the expense of any other senator. What I take home at the end of the day would be what is voluntarily considered to me by my colleagues, like they also concede to other principal officers, what makes sense to them, what they consider reasonable. We look forward to doing that. We are working on our first budget, and time will tell at the end of the day what kind of concessions or reasonable concessions I will get as the leader of the Senate, and we will be reasonable, modest in our expectations, but it is my hope and prayer that I will be able to do much more
than you did in the ninth Senate.
Senate.
Okay, so let's talk about the library. The last time we spoke about the library, you needed more books. So, do we have enough books in the libraries now?
Yes, it's not just about books. Information technology system is being put in place, the shelving, more books are there, and I'm sure very soon the library will be ready for commissioning, and I look forward to all of you being there with me by the grace of God, at the commissioning. Aside from this, I've been working also on some other projects, the intensive care unit and amenity center that is being built in Ekiti. It's almost going to be ready soon, and we'll be doing the commissioning, in the new year. And aside from this, we'll have some other projects. We'll have some road projects too that we're working on that will also be commissioned, upon completion. And I'm sure there'll be more projects that we'll be talking about in due course.
What about the home for the elderly?
The home for the elderly is also ready and is being equipped, and part of what we're trying to do is also get additional equipment, medical equipment, including an ambulance, so that by the time we are commissioning, the place will be ready to go. It's a place where we hope that it's not only for the elderly people to come in there and do indoor games and all that. There will also be routine medical screening for them. So I'm also making arrangement with the state institutions, health institutions, under the watch of His Excellency Governor Biodun Oyebanji of Ekiti State, who is also very passionate about the project. And we're trying to see how we can get the Ministry of Health involved, as well as the Ministry of Social Welfare, in the running, of the place, so that the state government and the community will buy into it and own it, as their own project. I believe this is one of the ways it can be sustainable. In the same way that I believe that once the library is commissioned, I will also hand it over to the State Library Board, to ensure that we're able to get the state government to inherit and continue to run, each and every one of the projects that we are bringing into the state, and in a sustainable manner. Same for the ICU, which I believe the State Ministry of Health, will also be involved in. Still talking about health and all that.
So in just 2 minutes, you have to speak in Ekiti to your people. For those, I know they understand, but that's our tradition on this program. Just briefly, what should they expect from you? Briefly in your local dialects.
Ekiti kete, ayaje njijeo, akwodu, akuyedu, emirasho podu, lórúkọ Jésù, ìṣeun ikú rọ̀jú, lágbára Ọlọ́run, kẹ́mi báyà ìrètí ibẹ̀, inú ọdún tuntun kan tó á mú kété ohun kò lè kókókó ládẹ̀rọ̀ kó kétera, àkókò òjijì, Ọlọ́run adẹ̀rùn alọ́, Ọlọ́run àtúbọ̀ àpèsè, wà ó, ọmọrá àṣòjòjò, ọ̀yàrá àṣòjòjò, ọkọ̀ àṣòjòjò, lágbára Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè, ẹ̀yin abá mi ayé mi, ọjọ́ ni àtúbọ̀ dalẹ́ o, lágbára Ọlọ́run, ẹ̀ àmáìsàn ló gbà o, nídìí àlògbà ẹ̀ nínú ìrònú, ẹ̀ àmọ́rin gbọ́mọrin sí, mo kí n lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ìkúlé ìkúdílé mọ́ ìṣeré àkúwọ́dún.
Thank you very much, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, for coming on Know Your Representative.
It's my pleasure.
On March the 7th, 2023, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, presented Certificate of Return to Senator Dr. Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, CON, who is one of the winners of the senatorial election, which held on Saturday, February the 25th, 2023, across the nation. The Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, announced Senator Opeyemi Bamidele as the majority leader of the 10th Senate, alongside other principal officers.
The Senate leader is Senator Opeyemi Bamidele. He will be the majority leader of the Senate and the Senate leader.
Christmas is here, and it is the tradition of the Senate leader, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, popularly called MOB, to spend quality time with his people during this period. Bamidele was given a rousing welcome by some of his constituents at the entry point of Inyekiti, Ekiti State, on Saturday, the 23rd December 2023. In his usual style, Bamidele ensures he distributes both Christmas and New Year gifts to his constituents across the Senatorial District and Ekiti State at large. The leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, distributed over 3,000 bags of rice, salt, livestock, and cash gifts to widows, men, and children. Representative of Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele also visited Erelu Adebayo's orphanage to give them cash gifts, a big cow, and bags of rice to celebrate Christmas.
A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ nítorí pé gbogbo ìgbà lọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ yìí ló wà lọ́kàn wọn. So inú wa máa ń dùn pé a ní wọn ní dádì gan. Àti ń sọ pé wọ́n máa rántí wa, àti ń sọ. So Ọlọ́run náà dúró tì wọ́n. Àmín. Wọ́n ṣe rántí wa níbí yìí àti àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí. Ọlọ́run á máa rántí wọn sí. Àmín. Ibi gíga láyé wọn lórúkọ Jésù. Ọlọ́run máa mú wọn débẹ̀. Àmín. Ẹlẹ́dàá àwọn ọmọ yìí gan máa papọ̀, ó máa tì wọ́n débẹ̀. Àmín. Èèyàn gidi kò dẹ̀ ní wọ́n wọn lórúkọ Jésù. Wọ́n bá ti ń pe èèyàn kan, ogún èèyàn á máa dá. Àmín. Lágbára Ọlọ́run gbogbo èrò ọkàn wọn sí rere, Ọlọ́run máa mú ṣẹ fún wọn. Àwọn ọmọ yẹn bọ́n ṣe wọlé lẹ́ẹ̀kan tán rí màálù inú wọn dùn, nǹkan tó máa múnú wọn dùn náà Ọlọ́run máa ṣe fún wọn.
The children and adults Christmas party is also a yearly tradition that the people of Ekiti Central Senatorial District always look forward to. It is always a time to wine and dine with their senator. Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, a lover of children and a good host, he ensures everyone is well taken care of. On Christmas Day, the Senate leader, accompanied by family, friends, and political associates, attended the Christmas service at Baba Muboni Memorial Anglican Church in Ekiti. The Oluyin of Ekiti, His Royal Majesty Oba Adeola Adeniyi Ajakaye, and the Odofinyin of Ekiti, High Chief Simon Ayodeji Esan, were also in attendance.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ẹ jẹ́ á máa gbé lárugẹ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe yáwó sanwó skúù, bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn òbí tèmi náà yáwó sanwó skúù. Báwọn ọmọ yín ṣe ń débi sùn gbà mí, bẹ́ẹ̀ lè ní àtẹ̀gbọ́n mi àtàwọn àbúrò mi náà débi sùn. Àtúnrán ilé tí gbogbo igbó láti odò lókè sálẹ̀ everywhere tó wà ní òṣókò tí a ti tẹ̀lé ìyá wa àbí ìyá wa lọ ṣiṣẹ́ tó bá ń gbàrú àtẹ̀lé wọn bá wọn gbàrú. Tábádé láti skúù lọ́sàn-án àsáré mú gàrí, nígbà mí gàrí yẹn wọ́n á ti kó sínú omi fún wa kó lè rú. Àsáré mú àtúgbọ̀nà odò àbókèsálẹ̀ òkúta tó bá wà tó lọ bá wọn. Báwa náà ṣe dìde nínú ìlú yìí, Ọlọ́run tó ronú kan ìyá tiwa, tó ronú kan ọba tiwa, tó gbé mi débi tí mo dé àtàwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n àtàwọn àbúrò mi tó ń kálukú wa, Ọlọ́run yẹn wà lórí ìtẹ́. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ bá àwọn ọmọ yìí kọjá bẹ̀rẹ̀. Mo tún fi encourage yìí, ẹ jẹ́ á dìpọ̀ Ọlọ́run mú, ẹ jẹ́ á dìpọ̀ Ọlọ́run wa mú. Kò sí ibi tọ́lọ́run tó gbé wa dé. Bí wọ́n ti gbé wa sí ìlú ìrìn, àdúrà ni fún wọn pẹ́ ni. Torí ìlú ológo nìlú yìí. Tòmádà gbàdúrà fún ìpè wà lórí ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ mọ̀ túmọ̀ ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run tó gbà fáwa á gbà fún yìí náà. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ púpọ̀ lọ.